Hey everybody, Travelin' Trav here. I am a symbolic language primate, a little word monkey. Can we normalize atheism? Why should someone's character be judged on if they believe in a magic sky wizard? How someone treats other human beings is way more important than their belief or lack of belief in a god. Can't disagree with you there. I'm also interested in what you mean by normalizing atheism. Okay, let's talk this. First of all, I will qualify my statements by saying that I became a committed atheist/nihilist after a great Christian disappointment. I was also practicing non-theist Vipassana meditation along the way too. I'm an all-in kind of person, so my atheism was all in, just like I was all in for fundamentalist Christianity for a number of years, starting at 22 years old. As an atheist, I was like a little Richard Dawkins. Tutti frutti, oh Rudy, down with the religions. Richard Dawkins, for me, now represents the condescending atheist, the intellectual who apparently believes that it is his mission to educate the world out of its religious delusions. I was all in for atheism, anti-theism. I was anti-theist. I wanted to crucify the magic sky wizard, I did, and I do believe that Nietzsche was correct still when he proclaimed that God is dead. Ding dong, the magic sky wizard is dead. That God had to die. It is the natural course of any magic sky wizard to die. They have a shelf life. And also, I found that atheism has rational limitations. In other words, I found that evangelical, Dawkinesque atheism requires faith, a faith that material is all there is, which is confounded even in our inability to touch dark matter and the deconstruction of time and distance in our discovery of relativity and quantum entanglement. And also, biologically speaking, I'm a symbolic language monkey who is hopelessly addicted to stories. We all tell stories, and at the core of religion, we find stories that build metaphysical constructs, and we function off those metaphysical constructs, whether we know it or not. Stories are not separate from nature. Or at least our primate brains cannot yet distinguish our stories from the true nature of reality. We are all still telling and retelling our parables. The mythological primate that we call Jesus knew this, and that's why he spoke to us in cryptic stories that we call parables. The advanced beings speak in code that we cannot immediately grasp with our rational minds. Come on, Travelin' Trav's trans-rational blues. We are all telling stories. And science is also not immune from our storytelling tendencies. The scientific method is really cool because it allows us to make inquiries, tell stories, and then change our stories as is appropriate. Religions do not innately have this built in. When we, humanity, started recording our stories, we just knew that the stories worked. And by worked, I mean that they provided us with a communal framework to rally around in our survival, players versus environment scenarios. Common stories help us work toward common goals. They helped us to survive as groups. They helped us to hunt. They helped us to gather. They helped us to make the migratory journey into all the promised lands that we had to endure as a species. So, if you are interested in normalizing atheism, I'm curious about what you mean. Do you believe that you have transcended storytelling? Do you believe that you are free from all the generational learning and experience that is written into our DNA as storytelling primates? What exactly are you free from as an atheist to which the religious folks are still bound? It's a real question. Like, what have we become free from? These are the things I'm really curious about. I once was like this, now I'm like this. And it's these stories, even the story of atheism, right? Which in some instances symbolizes freedom from something, freedom from the terrible destruction and hurt and disrespect that the nature-crushing rituals, the witch drowning, empire Christianity, all of the, yeah, absolutely. Do we have to get free from that shit? Yes! I believe this is all important. I love questions like that. Can we normalize atheism? Those are great questions. I'm not asking you any of these things to prove you wrong in any way. I have no interest in convincing you of any faith system that I have integrated. See Ken Wilber and Spiral Dynamics. Integration, in short, for me, it's kind of like when we get to go back and retake all the words. I can use the word God now because I'm taking that word back. It's a thing of power. So, so like that's one way to think about integration, is where we get to go back and actually occupy the forms of that tried to kill us. Those questions that I ask, I believe, may be part of the path to normalizing atheism. What I hope you can hear in my response today is a respectful approach to understanding our own human consciousness, what we might call the sacred nature of our being. Many of us still seem to feel that our life here can be experienced as sacred, and in fact, I find that I must revere my own life and yours. I consider my inquiries into atheism and nihilism to be part of my spiritual journey. They are not necessarily something that I recovered from in the great integration. Strangely enough, as I discovered my own judgmental nature in atheism, I rediscovered grace. In other words, I rediscovered my own religious fundamentalism in atheism. And atheism is where I ran to escape the judgment of the magic sky wizard. My own atheist inquiries are where I discovered that heart of what is wrong with religion in myself. I was so angry at all the judgmental, closed-minded religious folks, and there are so many good reasons to be angry at all that bullshit. The terrible things that we justify because we say that the magic sky wizard said so are worth tearing down. And here's where it got real for me. Until I discovered my own self-hate, I could not tear down the judgment that I discovered in religion. I'm interested in what you mean by normalizing atheism. It certainly normalized to me. Atheism is a reaction to theism. It is a bipolar reaction to the violent and angry sky wizard, and that is very understandable and necessary. Unless by normalizing you are saying that atheism deserves to be its own religion, and I can't imagine that is what you are pushing for. And when I say bipolar, I mean this world, this binary world, this world of offs and ons, elicits responses from us, elicits goods and bads and yeses and nos, and there is something we get to say no to in all of what we're trying to deconstruct here, yes? Atheism is a very normal response, and one that I understand well. We are all here together, trying to live in a world that appears to many of us sensitive, compassionate, gentle, caring, hopeful hearts to have gone absolutely mad. I believe that together we may be able to discover our common work, common stories, and our common love. And hopefully, if there is anything good left in our sacred texts, and I believe there is, we can discover this again together, or reclaim it. It does seem necessary to dethrone the false gods of religion wherever we find them. I believe this is the path where humanity becomes a more authentic expression of love. Peace to you, friend. Deepest power to you in your journey of depth discovery. P.S. I wanted to mention Pema Chodron, a Buddhist nun who helped me to discover non-theism, a slight change in the approach that allowed me to drop the anti-theism that I had attached to in atheism. Also, Franz de Waal, the bonobo and the atheist. His voice was beautifully compassionate for me as well. I am grateful for all the teachers who show us the way home. Thank you.